Before we jump into the explosive events of Dutton Ranch Season 1 Episode 5, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because this episode is shaping up to be one of the most intense chapters of the season so far. And after the shocking fallout from Episode 4, the battle for control of the ranch is about to become more dangerous than ever as secrets begin to surface and long-standing rivalries finally erupt into open war. The biggest storyline heading into Episode 5 centers around Rip, because after everything he uncovered in the previous episode, he's reached a point where patience is no longer an option, and he's finally prepared to deal with Rob Will face-to-face, and fans should expect that confrontation to be brutal, emotional, and packed with consequences because Rip isn't walking into this just looking for answers anymore. He's walking in ready to protect the ranch no matter what it costs, and that decision could leave blood on the ground before the hour is over. At the same time, Beth's fight against Beulah continues to spiral out of control, as the tension between both women explodes into a full-scale ranch war. And this isn't just personal anymore because land access, cattle movement, business deals, and local influence are now all becoming part of the battlefield. And while Beulah may have power and resources behind her, Beth is operating on pure instinct and rage, which makes her even more dangerous, and Episode 5 could finally show Beth making a move so aggressive that it changes the balance of power in the valley. Every conversation Beth has now feels like a threat, every move she makes feels strategic, and the pressure building around her is making her more unpredictable than ever, which is exactly why fans are expecting one of her boldest moments of the season in this episode. Another major storyline to watch is Everett, because his connection with Beth continues getting stronger and stronger, and Episode the 5th of May finally push him into the middle of the ranch conflict whether he wants it or not. And while he may have started as someone Beth could lean on emotionally, there's growing evidence that he's about to become part of the real fight, and once that happens his loyalty will be tested fast because standing beside Beth means stepping directly into danger, and if he chooses her side publicly, he could instantly become a target for everyone trying to bring the Dutton name. Meanwhile, the mystery surrounding Wes refuses to disappear, and Whitney's suspicions are growing stronger by the minute as more details stop adding up. And Episode 5 could finally push her to take serious action, which would bring law enforcement closer than ever to uncovering what really happened. And if that investigation begins moving faster, it creates immediate danger for Rob Will, but it also puts Rip under pressure because every choice he made to protect the ranch could suddenly come back with consequences. And that kind of storyline is exactly the kind of pressure cooker this series loves, because once the truth starts moving no one can control where it ends. There's also a strong chance Carter gets a major spotlight moment in this episode as Rip continues shaping him into someone capable of carrying ranch responsibility. And while Carter wants to prove himself, Episode the 5th of May force him into a dangerous situation before he's fully ready. And that would create a powerful emotional moment, because it would show just how heavy the Dutton legacy really is, and how quickly things can spiral when younger characters are pulled into battles started by the adults around them. And the biggest cliffhanger prediction for Episode 5 could be absolutely massive, because just when Rip finally corners Rob Will and looks ready to end the conflict once and for all, Whitney's investigation may bring authorities straight to the ranch at the worst possible moment, leaving Rip trapped between protecting Beth and protecting himself while Beth faces Beulah's next move alone. And if the episode ends there, it would easily deliver one of the strongest cliffhangers of the season, and set up Episode 6 for total chaos. No matter how it plays out, one thing feels certain: Dutton Ranch Episode 5 is about to raise the stakes in a huge way as alliances are tested, secrets begin falling apart, enemies close in from every direction, and the Dutton family finds itself fighting harder than ever to protect everything they've built. And if even half these spoilers become reality, fans should prepare for a wild episode packed with betrayal, emotional confrontations, and a final scene that leaves everyone desperate for Episode 6. And one storyline fans definitely shouldn't overlook in Episode 5 is the emotional pressure building inside the ranch itself, because while everyone is focused on the outside threats closing in, the people living under the Dutton roof are starting to feel the cracks from every direction, and the stress is becoming impossible to hide. And this episode may finally reveal how much damage the constant fighting has caused behind closed doors as trust begins slipping, and every person starts questioning how far they're willing to go to protect the ranch. The most dangerous thing about the Dutton family has always been their ability to survive together, but Episode the 5th of May begin testing whether that unity can actually hold when everyone is carrying secrets, and everyone believes they know what's best. Beth in particular may face one of her most emotional moments of the season, because even though she always appears fearless and impossible to break, the pressure surrounding her is becoming heavier than ever, and Episode 5 could finally show a quieter side, underneath all that anger as she realizes the battle with Beulah isn't just about land anymore but about legacy, family, and whether everything she's fought to protect can survive another attack. That emotional weight could lead to one of the episode's most powerful scenes, as Beth is forced to choose between making a smart move that protects the ranch long-term or taking immediate revenge, and risking everything in the process. And if fans know Beth at all, that decision could become explosive fast. Rip's storyline may become even darker than expected because once he commits to confronting Rob, there may be no turning back, and every step Rip takes feels like it could trigger something bigger than he planned, especially if Rob already anticipated the confrontation and prepared a response of his own. The possibility that Rip walks into a trap feels stronger than ever. And if that happens, episode 5 could deliver one of the most intense action scenes of the season, with Rip forced to fight his way out while the ranch itself becomes vulnerable at the exact worst. At the same time, Beulah may reveal a move nobody saw coming because she's been patient and calculating this entire season, and episode 5 feels like the perfect time for her to prove she's been thinking several steps ahead all along. Instead of confronting Beth directly, she may strike through business partnerships, ranch permits, or even personal alliances that leave Beth cornered without warning, and that would make the rivalry even more dangerous because Beth knows how to fight an enemy standing in front of her, but she becomes even more unpredictable when she realizes she's being attacked from directions she didn't expect. Another big theory heading into this episode is that Whitney could uncover a witness connected to West's disappearance, and if that happens, the entire investigation changes instantly because suspicion turns into evidence and suddenly every secret tied to that night starts becoming impossible to contain. That would place enormous pressure on Rip and Rob at the same time, and could create one of the episode's most suspenseful scenes if Whitney gets close enough to the truth to confront someone directly before the hour ends. And then there's Carter, whose role may quietly become one of the most important parts of the episode because while everyone else is locked into personal wars, Carter is watching everything and learning fast. And episode the 5th of May finally show him stepping up in a way nobody expected, whether that means protecting part of the ranch, helping Rip during a crisis, or making a bold decision that proves he's stronger than everyone realizes. Those moments matter because the series keeps hinting that Carter's future inside the ranch is bigger than it looks right now. The final minutes of episode 5 could also completely reshape the season if the ranch faces a direct outside threat at the exact same time Beth and Rip are separated, because that kind of timing would force every character into survival mode and leave the ranch exposed when leadership is divided. Imagine Beth trying to hold the line while Rip is trapped dealing with Whitney's investigation, and Carter is suddenly pushed into action before he's ready. That kind of ending would create a huge cliffhanger and make episode 6 feel even bigger. And that's why fans are calling episode 5 a true turning point for ***, because everything that's been building since the premiere now feels ready to explode all at once, and by the end of the year loyalties may shift, enemies may strike harder than ever, and one shocking reveal could leave the future of the ranch hanging by a thread. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments, do you think Rip will finally take Rob down, or is Beth about to make the most shocking move of the season? And don't forget to subscribe for more Dutton Ranch spoilers, breakdowns, and episode previews every